Good morning, Future Snipes here with map time for day 12. Right, here we go. So, we stayed in the Bothy, thankful for it to be honest. It was blowing an absolute hoolie the night before and quite simple in the morning, just coming back out the way we came in, along the side of the loch, and you get to the hydro. There's a waterfall there as well, there's a hydro thing, so just past it and then up this path here. Nice and simple. Yeah, there was a wee fishing hut and fishing going on there. Kept following this up, turn right at the junction, keep going along, and this is the point we kind of decided that we would take yet again the easier option. It had been pouring with rain, high winds on top, visibility wasn't great, so no real reason to stay high, and yeah, we wouldn't be able to see anything anyway. So again, another one for another day. So kept going on, there's a little shieling here by the way, kept going on down through, well, what's been cleared forestry and down to the path here. Here we go. Oops. So again, as I was saying here, the shieling, keep going down through the forestry and down to here. So just through the forestry estate buildings and a few houses down here, and you're following this road. It was miserable, not because it wasn't beautiful actually, and the road wasn't busy, it was just driving rain. So really quite nasty, and we were, you can only stay dry for so long. So followed this road all the way around, and we actually stopped here just before the lodge. There's a little car park there. Actually broke out and decided to have noodles and whatnot and something hot to try and heat us up. And just as we're about to cross, a really helpful young chap who does some stalking and that there stopped in the estate van and was giving us a bit of advice and asking how we were doing, so that was nice. People sometimes, there's an old hut, I think people sometimes well camp near that and split the day, but we were going to go ahead, and I think it was over 20 miles by the time we finished. So cross here, good track all the way up, obvious left turn, again track pretty good here, and the track goes on, so you just need to keep an eye on when you're coming off, maybe take a bearing here or look out for a bearing, and then just head over and pick up through bog and marsh. By the way, it's nasty, it was really wet, and this pretty much semi non-existent path that goes down this loch in here. Now the young guy had said about, just be careful how much water is there when you come to cross down at this point. We did have to take boots off, sorry, and put our water crossing shoes on, in my case my Vivo barefoots, and cross over. But I can imagine that being quite a challenging one if it was in full spate, the water hadn't reached it yet. The path improves along here and brought us into Rhiconich, toilets there and so forth. The hotel doesn't look like it's been open for a while, and we just kept going, and we actually ended up on, I think it would have been this point here, maybe right on here, looking out, and it was actually really, really good. And I'd swapped out the tents. My tent was a one-person tent, Julie was with us now, and if you hang on to the end of this video, I'm going to, as well as having map time, you'll have kit corner, and I'll go through what I've swapped in and out based on Julie joining me on day 12. So I hope that's useful again. Speak to you soon. Julie's just jumped away. So this is the morning of day 13. Walking out from Glendhu, Bothy, which we were pleased to have it last night. It was very windy, rainy, so that was good. Didn't get going until about 8 o'clock, more because I don't think we're going to go all the way into Rhiconich. Probably well camped somewhere before. It's only a 10-mile day the next day, and then it's the short drop in to Sandwood. So yeah, so far so good. This is what it's been dry for the last 5 minutes. Let's hope it stays like that. Hello again, thanks for staying on and watching this at the end of the video. So this section's, we've already had map time, we now have kit corner. So what I'm going to talk about here is very briefly what it was that got swapped out when Julie came on day 12. So I've also got the scales as well, so we will do a quick weight comparison also. Hope you find it useful. So let's start over here. So we had the Storm and Norman with the coffee filter on top. I'll be honest, I kept the coffee filter as well. That's 900 ml alp kit and the alcohol stove. So what I haven't got here is obviously the alcohol. I'll maybe turn around and try and get it discreetly when we're looking at other things. So that and the alcohol got swapped out. What I brought in instead was we're going to be boiling more water. So that's the Alp Kit Brew Kit 1.2. I think it's one of the earlier models, but it was great. It done exactly what it needed to do, which was boil water. So if we moving slightly over, we've got the tent here. This is what I brought in. So I brought in the MSR Access 2, used MSR full-size groundhogs with that, and a couple of shepherd's hooks, a few shepherd's hooks, but I also brought 4 of these, well, snow and sand anchors as well. I could have just wrapped around rocks, there was enough there actually, but I didn't know that, didn't think about that at the time, so obviously much bulkier, but I haven't cinched that down. So what came out at that time was the Dunstan drop Xmid 1P. So that's been brilliant. I'll do a separate post-hike review on that, but not enough room for the two of us if we're going to use the Nest. Should point out that was worked out great. I've talked about it a few times in the video. That was the Alux XXL Tyvek ground sheet, and set that up to go with the Xmid. Also putting it underneath me when I was in the Bothys just to protect my mat. No need to keep that because I had the footprint of the MSR with us as well, MSR Access 2. Something that went back because I didn't see the point in keeping it. These were the Montane Tornado lightweight full-size gaiters. There's just no way of keeping your feet dry, so they were surplus to requirement to send those back. The only other thing that went back as well was obviously we're in the north, didn't need the Cape Wrath South map. So let's switch this on and see if I can manage to do this. So if we start with the tent, I don't know if you're going to be able to read that, it's just resetting. We've got the 0, so I've got the pegs that I took in here with this. So with everything, that was 925 grams for the Dan Dunstan. Add on to that the ground sheet, which was 180, so I'll let you guys do the maths. What I switched in, and this includes so that's poles, obviously the pegs, the ground anchors and the footprint, so that is 2.11 kilos. Over there. Storm and Norman comes in at 355 grams. That went out, and what came in is the Alp Kit Brew Kit 1.2 litre, and that came in at 745. So obvious weight gains there, but you know, we're now accommodating 2 rather than 1 person. And I suppose just for sake of completeness, dropped the map, which was 60 grams. Okay, thanks for watching. Any questions? Put them in the comments.